Unbelievably vicious video. This is very tough to watch. I gotta warn you. In Cincinnati. This man was beaten in the street in Cincinnati over the weekend. The police say 5 suspects are facing charges. They're asking others to turn themselves in. Then a woman who tried to defend him also was punched and knocked out cold by a young man on the street. And as I said before, one person called 911 in this whole crowd. They're all too concerned about getting this whole thing on video so they can post it on their stupid phones. National correspondent Brian Yanis reports live here in New York. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Martha. Well, we just got disturbing new video with a different angle of this vicious attack that unfolded at 3 a.m. on Saturday in Cincinnati. It appears to show a verbal confrontation. Then you see a white man in a white shirt slap a black man in a red shirt. Punches are then thrown and the brawl ensues. The white man is punched and kicked repeatedly by black men and women. This new video also shows 2 other white men getting beat up. Horrifically, another video shows a woman being knocked unconscious, blood on her face after she was sucker punched by a man. Incredibly difficult to watch. Police have not said how or why this brawl started. Cincinnati's police chief says alcohol consumption played a significant role, characterizing it as a sudden dispute following a verbal altercation. Astoundingly, there were 100 people there, but only one person called 911. The Trump administration's Department of Justice suggesting hate crime charges could be filed. Quote, our federal hate crimes laws apply to all Americans. We at Civil Rights at DOJ will monitor closely how local authorities handle this attack. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's from Ohio, reacting.
We have got to make great American cities safe again for families and children. If you want to take your wife or your children out for a meal, you shouldn't be worried about street violence. And the only way to destroy that street violence is to take the thugs who engage in that violence and throw their asses in prison.
Martha, 5 people have been charged. More are expected, but so far they have announced 0 arrests. So we'll see. We'll get an update as we get it.
Well, a lot of people know who all these individuals are. And as you say, it started with an altercation on both sides. But what happened was absolutely horrific. And the fact that nobody stepped in to stop it is just unbelievable. Brian, thank you very much.
Okay, you guys. So you saw the report. I've been having some really ridiculous technical difficulties, but this is the second time I've had to record this. But you saw the report. So they're framing this as if this was a hate crime when they even had to, even this racist entity, Fox, had to report that this was people retaliating to an attack being brought on them, that the white people attacked first. Apparently, one of the white men, at the very least, slapped one of the black men. They reported all of that in this news report. Yet somehow the only people they're charging, you notice, they said 5 people, and you know it's 5 black people. 3 of them are right here. But they're not charging a single one of these white people, at the very least even the man who started all of this, because none of it would be a situation if he didn't start this. And of course, you know that people in the comment section are trying to give this whole both sides situation, or if it were the other way around situation. But we already know that that's not the situation. Can you imagine if races were reversed? The races were reversed. Not only were they reversed during the Alabama Brawl just a second ago, but in this very situation, the white foreigners attacked black Americans first, slapping a grown black man. Whatever ensued, ensued. Real talk. If this was the other way around, there would be riots and looting all over the place. Right now, you know, they want to talk about this, but they don't want to talk about the January 6ers who Trump and his administration let out of the office, or let out of jail, free, and pass go. But you don't want to talk about that. They over here, this same administration is trying to pursue federal hate crime charges against these people for these, I believe they're Russians, foreigners, who came over here with their racism and thought that we were the same black people, I guess African people who end up over there in Russia. But we're not. So this same administration wants to pursue hate crime charges against some black people who responded to being attacked. But we don't want to throw hate crime charges on the white people who started it, number one, or white supremacy charges and investigations into the Sieg Heils that are being, touted and flaunted on inauguration stages, ushering in your presidency, Trump. It's just ridiculous. Like, I'm not understanding. I do understand that, obviously. It's racism, white supremacy, fascism. But I'm going to tell you right now, y'all come over here, you better be ready. You better be ready, 100% ready. Don't start no stuff, won't be no stuff. Don't come over here with no issues like that. We don't go over there trying to have no issues with y'all in Russia. We're not even really going to Russia. And you see how this black woman was attacked in Russia, and then they come over here and they think they're about to attack us, slapping grown black men. You must be crazy. So we see how this stuff goes. I've been at this university for about 3 years, and I'm working on my last year. And I just moved in for the new semester. There's only been one hate crime reported of the entire campus. Out of everyone from the entire campus, there's been one hate crime that's made it through to being reported to the students, because they have to report those things when they consider them hate crimes. But it's only when they consider them hate crimes. I've reported many different situations, including sundown town-esque situations on campus, just for them to tell me, we couldn't find video footage, we couldn't substantiate, we didn't have audio footage, we couldn't, audio, we couldn't tell if this is what was being said, and all of these things. So you literally have to walk around recording yourself 24/7 just to possibly get evidence of what is going on. And even then, who knows? They probably still might find a way to deny my claim. But easily as I don't know what, they'll find me guilty of smoking a cigarette on campus back when I smoked cigarettes. Because some researcher on campus saw me smoking a cigarette and decided to get her son to lie on me and claim that he saw it as well. They got teachers failing me in classes, and they're not giving me grade appeal opportunities. It was only one class, but, in my entire college career, I've only failed one class, and I had to be in the class until the last week of school when he failed me. So I'm in the middle of putting a lawsuit together for that. But, I'm getting kicked out of class because I'm telling white female students that I don't appreciate how they're speaking with me. But it takes so much just to be able to prove that I am being spit at by white dudes on campus, that I am being pushed and assaulted by white girls on campus, white women on campus. That I'm being stalked and harassed and facing attempted break-ins. So, it is what it is. But I just wanted to bring this video because it's just ridiculous, and, we see how it is. And if you pay attention right here, I want to end with this. This is apparently a video of, and I don't even watch Sky News Australia. I don't even want to click on it, but I'm going to for the purpose of this video. But then I'm going to block them because they're very racist. But allegedly, the chief of the area is actually defending the black people. She's one of the only people out of this national campaign to condemn black people. She's one of the only people who is allegedly standing up for justice in this situation.
And a warning to our viewers, this next story contains distressing content. Yesterday we covered the sickening scenes of violence in Cincinnati, Ohio, where 3 people who happened to be white were bashed senseless by large groups of cheering black folk. It looked like race-based attacks, but the racial element was a secondary issue. It was this extreme violence that was so disturbing. So much so that Vice President J.D. Vance weighed in on the issue. But yesterday, Cincinnati Police Chief Terry Thiege addressed the issue, and she made these, frankly, astonishing comments.
Social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred.
I'm sorry, what? One version of what occurred? The videos are clear, Terry. A crazed mob bashed 3 defenceless people senseless. A woman who came to the defense of a man being bashed was sucker punched by a man, knocked out cold. Is there a version where that is acceptable? Joining me now is American Culture Project Senior Fellow and School Choice Advocate Corey DeAngelis. Corey, what is the police chief on? She seems more upset by the footage going viral than the contents of that footage.
I mean, what is she on?
Well, you might be able to frame it that way if you don't actually listen to everything that she says. But if you clip it for clickbait, like she did, and you leave it where you left it, then it does leave room for you to be able to say, oh, okay, well, she's just trying to excuse this away. She didn't say she was excusing it. She said that you all are out here putting out a story and a narrative that does not depict what happened in this incident. That is what she said. And if you think that anything about that is okay, then you're not a journalist. So whatever you and Corey Bookham got to say on this motherfucking Sky News ass motherfucker really doesn't matter. It don't make a difference. But I do want to pull in this last little bit. There is a council member in Cincinnati who is facing either a forced resignation, which she's refused, I believe, and or termination for her comments saying that they asked for, the white people asked for this beatdown, basically. At least that's what I've heard. So let's see.
A Cincinnati City Councilwoman is at the centre of a growing political firestorm after controversial comments surfaced online. Comments appearing to defend a violent street assault caught on video in the city's downtown. Councilwoman Victoria Parks, a long-time political figure and current member of Cincinnati's City Council, is now facing intense public backlash after a Facebook comment surfaced that read, "They begged for that beatdown," in response to a brutal attack that took place over the weekend.
Unfortunately, we had one incident. I, like many, woke up Saturday morning to the video.
The comment was posted under a video shared by a Facebook user showing a vicious
But there you go. There's the comment. She apparently doubled down on her statements. And I'll look into that. And, if there's anything more to bring you all, then I'll bring it later. But I just want to wrap up with this. This is unacceptable. You all are not going to sit over here and play these social games with us. And if you are, then be ready to win the prizes. Because we got plenty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you all think this is, but it's a lot of attacks that I'm hearing about. And it makes it seem as though things are revving up. But it could just be that, and I'm sure that the media is just propagandizing things so that we can, feel insecure and to fuel this divisive, culture war and all this other stuff that they want to talk about. But at the end of it all, don't start no stuff, won't be no stuff. And I just want to add in here that these types of videos are what a lot of these people who, you know, don't want us to identify as foundational Black Americans don't want to comment too. They don't want to, and if they do leave a comment or respond to this or react to these videos, then it'll just be to, you know, say something else about us being racist or something like that. You know, first we're trying to be white, then we're racist against white people, you know, one or the other. So I just wanted to add this little bit in there because it doesn't really work for the people who say that we're trying to be white or that we want to be American so bad when we are American, or that we're MAGA adjacent and all this other stuff. It doesn't really work for them because these, number one, Fox is racist as shit, and that's MAGA bread and butter. They don't even use butter, to be honest with you. But, you know, they say we're MAGA this and we're MAGA that, and it's like, MAGA would be on board with this. MAGA would be, the people who are MAGA, the people who are, you know, white adjacent or white wannabe are the people who, you know, cape for things like this and for people like this. You know, oftentimes we are the people who are on the total opposite side of people who are like this, who are coons and buffoons for white supremacy and anti-Blackness, because we don't stand for that. And we call it out, and we don't play the okey doke in the game. But a lot of you all play the game. You play the fool. You play the ass.